Looks like we're alive, up and running. Good morning, good morning. It's actually a bright sunny day here. We're seeing blue sky there above the donkey store. Some shadows. Bit of cloud maybe, not sure. Good morning, good morning. Bit of wind here though, actually. Look at those flags, it is. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, we got a good floater here today. Not quite perfect because there's a bit of shadows. I think the sun is going to come out here in a minute and it's going to put a shadow on there. But yeah, we got a good floater. Primed for takeoff. Elon Musk, eat your heart out. We got a good rocket there. Okay, Saturday morning here in Asakusa. What's the plan for today here? Well, you can see where we're going. It's going to be more of the same carving. Paper is out. Thank you very much, John. Paper is out. It's Ishikawa-san's coming today by herself. She's doing another batch of that woman with umbrella print, which is doing really, really well from that campaign last week. Yesterday there were 3 printers here. Ayumi-san was working on, she just finished up JJ4. Suga-san was here. She's doing the yokai, the little ones. And Ishikawa-san's doing her umbrella print. There were 3 yesterday. So let's get organized here. I have a bit of a different show and tell today. We have a show and tell. A box arrived from Ome this week. But we'll talk about it when we get to it. It's, it's different than anything else we've seen before. I think it'll be interesting, hopefully. It's really interesting for me to see these things. Really, really interesting. Personal history come to life. We were joking about it. Once I opened the box, I looked at that and I thought, oh my God, if only I had a time machine, I could jump ahead in time and make $1 million with this stuff, whatever. We're still in the face, the nose. The eyes are now done. We're doing the nose of this one. Not sure where I'll go next. I really want, the poppies here are so delicate and small, I really would like to sort of wait for a while. So maybe we'll do the nose here, do some more clearing. Then I might go up to the calligraphy and do the calligraphy. We'll see. See how far we get today. But also, I have got to get moving on this, and that means I'm going to have to be doing some carving on this in non-stream times, because we got to get moving. The 4th print is now shifting over to printing. John-san is going to be ready this weekend with the 4th print. This is the 5th. So I've got to get this key block finished and then get color blocks done for it. So far I've been fairly easygoing and just taking my time with this, but it's a production job and I have got to get this thing moving. No phone calls today. I hope the phone is here, but yeah, let's ignore it. It's Saturday. There won't be any staff around anyway. Cameron's off. The Ome staff is off. Post office is closed. Just me here and Ishikawa-san upstairs printing. And also, if I forget, a couple of things. 2 letters. We have cards and letters. So there's 2 letters to open. Let's do that about halfway along. One of them, I can suspect what it is because it's from a known person. And the other one, I have no idea. It's from an unknown person. Unknown to me. No idea. I'm not actually sure. When I get these, is it something that's public? Can I open it in public or not? I don't really know. So, whatever. One way to find out. Okay, let's get to work. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff. I've got a little list here, a bunch of stuff I'm supposed to talk about and mention today. So, First up, actually, when I talk about this, it's going to be a little bit disappointing to many of the people on the chat here, but it's something that is happening here. I've been discussing this with Cameron for the past few days and with Aoi Amasan a little bit for the past few days. The decision we're trying to make here, kind of a big decision. And we sort of pulled the trigger on it the other day. And we're hiring here right now, hopefully this next week or this next month, whatever we can find. We're hiring, but before anybody out there gets excited, we're hiring right here in Tokyo. I need a Japanese person here in Tokyo. And we're ready right now. If this person could walk in the door today, we would just, and I mean a full-time employee, not another printer that's open all the time. We need printers all the time, carvers all the time. But I mean an actual staff member. It's a really big deal for a company in Japan to hire somebody because you can't ever fire them, So taking people on as staff members is really you got to be careful, really, really, really be careful. And that's why we've been hesitating about this for such a long time. But it's gone now beyond the point that we can handle this. And we need now an extra person. And the job is to do three sort of separate things combined together. One is, it's what we've been calling our flea market. The used print section of our website has been very much in the doldrums for the past year or so because we've had no staff members. It used to be done by the shop staff members during their off hours in the shop, whenever there weren't too many customers. But with the shop staff members being gone, that job hasn't been done at all, and it's totally decayed. Our online shop for the used prints is just moribund, and yet there's super demand for these. So that's one job that the person would do. The second is the accounting. We're pretty good with the accounting. We've got a very much an automated system. But the part that we can't automate is customer relations, emails back and forth with customers. And that is now eating pretty much all of Cameron's time. So we need somebody to handle things like doing the payroll and the pensions and payments and all that kind of stuff. Not enough for a full-time person, but combined with this other work. And then, of course, Japanese social media. We've been completely, totally ignoring Japanese social media, and it's really, really, really time to wake that up. So given that we have a need in those three areas, we thought, okay, look, let's just do this. Let's get somebody on board who can help us with these jobs. Working both from home and maybe some days here in Asakusa to do scanning and stuff. So we put the word out. First step is all the current staff members, their own network, their own people they know and stuff like that. But I know that talking about this kind of stuff, it's frustrating for people overseas because, put your hand up. I can do it. Let me come on. Give me a visa. I can come. And just we can't do that. One, this person, we need very much native Japanese ability. And also, we can't sponsor visas. We have no ability to do that. The massive companies, the 7-Elevens and Lawsons, they get all kinds of foreigners over here working for them because they can do that. Work with the immigration people to do the visas. We're just a minnow. We can't do that. So people ask us all the time, can I be your apprentice? Sponsor me for a visa and I'll sweep the floor. I'll help you. But we just can't. We're not allowed to do that. So the reason I said three jobs, just simply at the moment, neither one of those by itself is a full-time job. I can't hire three people, but they're overlapping skills. And if we get one person who can do mainly the flea market stuff and the social media. And something behind this, I mean, like this is a pandemic and what's going on, and we've lost the Asakusa shop, and we have huge expenses with the rent and stuff. So how on earth can I even be thinking about talking about it, hiring people? Well, it turns out that not only are we surviving in this pandemic, but I jumped ahead and I did a set of books. I pretended that February was finished. I took the numbers and stuff for February, which gave me a 3-month run, December, January, February. And I guess it's okay to talk about this in public, whatever, given a running 3-month average of sales, you take the 3 months, then the 3 months before, then the 3 months before. Because ours is a seasonal business. You can't just go month by month by month, because some months are higher because of year-end holiday sales and stuff like that. And some months are higher because subscriptions start in January, things like this. But when you do it on a 3-month, 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 and compare each 3-month group, the pandemic hit last year in February. So from February on, that's when things really crashed. And we've now come a year past that. So I pretended that February was finished and took the February data. Again, I said, give me 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Anyway, with the February data included, we are now back higher than the previous levels on the 3-month running average. We've come through the pandemic, and we are now back up at a more stable, higher level than we were before the pandemic started. And that's even with no shop. Our shop is toast. We've lost it completely, currently anyway. It might come back in the future, but it's toast at the moment. But even without that, we have recovered to a pre-pandemic level. And we were sort of confused about this because Cameron is drowned in work. Aoyama-san's drowned in work. I'm drowned in work. And we were thinking, what's going on? It's supposed to be a pandemic. And it turns out that, yeah, we're actually doing okay. So we need help. We need help. And we can afford it. It's not like we're going to ask for people to donate and support us. We just simply need to hire somebody. We're okay. Looking good. This is a delicate area, That's where all the focus of the image is going to be. This face. People are trying to look at this finished print. They're going to figure out, what is this? So these lines I'm carving now are actually super, super critical. Super critical. Don't mention the second set of books. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We keep our nose clean. How much of our upswing is not having to pay for the shop? We're paying for the shop. We're paying the rent down here, even though it's empty. What we're not paying is we're not staffing it every day, but we're paying for it. So, like John says, it doesn't matter what I do with this carving because it will nobody will be able to tell anywhere. But what I don't want them to do is I don't want people to blame my carving. This is carved so badly I can't even tell what kind of animal it is. I don't know. Second set of books, yeah, right. No, we're clean here. We're clean. We pay taxes. Boy, oh boy, do we pay taxes. And it hurts, It hurts. And catch this all. Is it easy to file taxes in Japan? Yes, the system, there are taxes and taxes on top of taxes here, but the system is user-friendly. The system is user-friendly. Jacques here, congratulations. Yeah, no, thank you, Jacques-san. You're part of it. Whatever, you're part of it. So. Thank you, gang. So. The taxing, I know it. One reason it hurts for me, when you're a salaryman in Japan, you don't see the taxes because your employer takes it from your pay and sends it in. And most salarymen here in Japan, interestingly enough, they don't even file their own tax return. If you're a normal salaryman for Toyota or whatever, you don't know anything about this. Well, you get your pay slip. If you look at the details, it's there. But you don't have to file an income tax return if you are a normal salaryman in Japan. It's done for you automatically by the company and the government together. So a lot of people actually don't even know how much taxes they pay here. If they they just whatever, it's whatever. But because I'm not a salaryman, I have to file my own taxes and always have done. So you see it, and I get the tax bill bang once. I have to pay the year's taxes bang right then in February, March. So that's why it hurts, of course. So. But no, I have no real bitter complaint about taxes here. The overall burden I feel is reasonable. Capital gains taxes, I have no idea how that works here. That's not my life. I don't know. I don't buy stocks and bonds and stuff, so I'm sorry. But about the numbers there, I prepared for you here. Let me see if I can get this link right. Hang on a sec. HTTPS. If I get this right or wrong tonight. I have the numbers for three years. This is 2021, 2019. So that's 2 years back. And if you just change the number, 2019, change it to 2020, and change it to 2021, you can see what's happening. Well, the taxes here, it's the same thing. I have a national income tax, which is paid to the national government. The taxes are at 3 levels. There's the national income tax, the prefectural, and then your city level. And that's something that maybe doesn't exist in a place like Canada when I lived there. I pay here national tax, prefecture tax, which is like the province or state if you were in North America. And then I pay city tax to Ome City, which would be like Vancouver when I lived in Vancouver. And I didn't pay a residence tax in Vancouver, but here there are the 3, national, prefectural, and city. And the prefecture and city together is about the same amount as the national. So what you do, you file your national taxes, blah, blah, blah. There's the bill or the rebate if you've paid too much already. And then the city and prefecture, they're based on that. You don't file yourself. They have access to the national tax system. It all flows down, and you just get your bills from the city. Here's your city tax, and it's based on the amount you paid in income tax at the national level. So you just file once. You don't file 3 times. You file once. Did I get it wrong? What did I get it wrong? Hang on a sec. HTTPS, mokohankan.com attachments. Hang on a sec. I was sure I got it right. Hang on a moment, please. I know I uploaded it. Excuse me 1 sec. Supposed to be carving, Dave. Come on, wake up. My FTP program doesn't want to wake up. Is mokohankan.com down? My FTP program doesn't even want to connect to it. Try some other links at mokohankan.com. Maybe the whole thing, the server is down maybe. You're able to connect to that file, the image file. Dave, you're supposed to be carving. You can connect to the website. Okay. Hang on a sec then, sorry. Here it is. Came alive. Hi, just one sec then. Oh, I see. I prepared them and didn't put them in there. Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot to upload them. Guilty as charged. They're up. Okay, the 3 images are now there. My apologies, my mistake. My mistake, sorry about that. So from those 3 images, you can see from the first one, the 2019, how massively important the Asakusa shop was to us. Of the 3 different parts of our business, the Asakusa shop was far and away the driver. And that wasn't always the case, of course. If we took these images back to 2012, there was no Asakusa shop, and it was online Ukiyo-e Heroes that was the driver. But because that became so strong, I was worried that we would just have all of our eggs in one basket with Ukiyo-e Heroes. So I took the chance and opened the Asakusa shop. And the first couple of years, it dribbled, and oh my God, it was tough going, and what am I doing, and we're crazy. 2014, 2015. And then bit by bit, of course, it started to come alive. Until you can see there, 2019, the Asakusa part of our business was the main driver, to the extent that I ignored other parts of it. Then in 2020, when it disappeared, and you can see the number there, from March of 2020, Asakusa was toast. So I had to get busy with online. And we just simply did 2 things, really. One is I instantly got busy on the website in March of 2020, and I finally, after years of procrastination, made the website responsive, so it appears properly on mobile, on phones and stuff. And then we started a couple of campaigns in April of 2020, and there we are. But then the recent change, there's something else you can see in those numbers. Coming halfway through 2020, I was talking to Jed, and we thought we had a problem in the middle of 2020, because we were looking forward to the 2021 subscription series, and Jed was overloaded. Jed wasn't sure if he could actually do a new series in 2021. And John Becker shows up, so. Yeah, just change the number. Change the 2020, 2021. 2021 is also there. Just change the number. So, my mother's here. Good morning. Hello, hello. So partway through 2020, we were starting to get worried about the subscription series. Jed was overloaded at his end, and it wasn't clear that he was going to be able to give us a good, strong series for 2020, because he had hit 2 home runs in a row. The Japan Journey series and the Woodblock Pilgrimage series had been fantastic for us, but they were a ton of work. At his end too, a ton of work. He's now got 4 kids at home, homeschooling. So the idea came during the summer, autumn of 2020 that we should take a rest from Jed and not have a Jed subscription series. But because they had been so popular, I'm thinking, oh, okay, if I've lost my shop, and now if I've lost a popular subscription series, I am going to be in trouble. So Dave sat down and thought, what can I do? What kind of subscription series can I create that should be, might be, could be popular? So I came up with the Scenes of Nature. And you can see the result there. The last month of 2020 and the first 2 months of 2021, the new driver for our business, it's shifted from Asakusa in 2019 to online in 2020, and now it's shifting to subscriptions in 2021. This is how our business has sort of morphed through this pandemic year. The print parties, the print parties, the print parties. So, it's funny, people, you're tackling the challenges of 2021. I don't sort of have that mood or that sort of feeling. It's not sort of, like it's, I'm not playing a video game, fight, this stuff coming at me. It's just sort of, we're just trying to move forward day by day, think about this, try and think a year in advance, stuff like this. The print parties, yeah. So John has hinted here, before the pandemic, we were really healthy, we were flourishing, but we had a real problem, and that what we were doing wasn't sustainable. The Asakusa shop, on those purple figures on that graph, looks fantastic, and it was doing really, really, really well. But all of us here were burning out. And it's an easy, sort of a cheap thing to say, man, I'm burned out. But we were actually all burning out. It wasn't just me. What we were doing was so intense and so highly, it needed so much energy to do it. It wasn't like sort of running a coffee shop where you put the coffee out and you take the 500 yen and whatever. What we were doing wasn't sustainable, specifically, mostly for me. And that month right there, that spring of 2019, February, March, there was a train coming down the track aimed right at us. We were full of reservations, huge demand. I had some staff people leave, one because her husband got sick and another had a baby and somebody else had a baby. And I was facing an absolute disaster in February, March, and April of 2019. And the pandemic saved my life. Whatever, it sounds kind of stupid, but it's true, Anthony, it's true. In that March and April, we shut the shop, and I just sort of sat there in stunned silence, like, wow, wow, you know. And at that moment, I could have walked away from the whole thing. If it had been a worse problem, I could have just, you know, that's it, there you go, Dave. It was all good fun. Just shut this down, tell everybody to go home, and pack it up. I could have done that, actually, you know, but part of the problem was the babies. The babies. Everybody was having babies. And like, these people have a job, they need this job. If Dave says, okay, look, we can't do this anymore, I'm tired of this, it's just too much work, I'm going to finish this. There were too many babies out there, you know. Four of them. Just in the space of those few months, 4 of the staff members had babies. It's like it was a devious plan to trap me. A calamity of don't get me in trouble, man. A calamity. No, not my babies. My point being, I know the staff members need the work. They need the job, you know. And I found the same thing when I myself worked at the music store. This is, 40 years ago, 45 years ago. I chatted with the boss, the owner. He said the same thing. He said, all you damn people keep making babies. He's like, he was trying to sell the business and move on and do this and do that, and he couldn't do that because so many people were dependent on him for a job. And I was back then, I was the one making babies. I had 2 kids and my job there, and now I'm at the other end of it, so. Well, not all of those people who had babies were totally dependent on me. For example, Audrey, our French girl who was working for the print parties, she basically left. She had the baby and that was it. Her husband has a job and that was that for her. So she wasn't sitting here dependent on me. So it wasn't, I can't exaggerate that. But anyway, the point being, you've got 20 employees here now and it's not so easy to give up. So when that thing hit in March, when the pandemic thing hit, it wasn't just a question of walking away. It was, okay, Dave, now what do we do? How do we get through this? Patreon helped wonderfully during that year. Patreon was a super help to us. It took the stress off the rent problem. We've got the rent there with no income coming in, you know. So that was a factor for sure. Are the COVID numbers coming down in Japan? I don't know. Remember, no vaccinations here yet. They have started a little, there's a dribble. There's like 50 people have been vaccinated. They're all doctors. Vaccinations have just started here. So what we're seeing, the results we're seeing all around the world are not happening in Japan yet. But there's funny numbers. There's strange numbers. We've just got, it was in a newspaper story. Maybe somebody can find it. Japan Times, Google this. The numbers of births and deaths in any given country. In 2020, Japan's number of people dying plummeted. We have way fewer deaths than was expected by normal statistics. Fewer. And the analysis is, so they tell us when you read the story, it's because so many people are masked up, so many people got flu shots, this and this. The normal death toll from a normal influenza, which is normally tens of thousands of people in Japan every year. You know, everybody 99, whatever. Normally tens of thousands of people die in a typical year from influenza. That was down to something really low. So it sounds paradoxical, but fewer people died in Japan last year than were expected to have died, you know, statistically. It's insane. Of course, there have been COVID deaths. It's 4,000 now? I forget the exact number, I'm sorry. There's been about 4,000 overall from the beginning to now. So it's car accidents are down. It's the whole thing. It's a combination of a whole number of things. But it's nothing to do with the vaccinations. And the vaccinations have just started here. There aren't going to be enough to go around because Europe is obviously, you know what Europe is doing. They're holding on to their vaccinations for their own people. Turns out Japan had some contracts for them, but oops, not going to happen. So those are the numbers. It's not 4,000. It's more than that. It's more than 4. I don't remember the number. I'm sorry. It's 4 or 5 or something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, it's different. Countries are different, you know. Countries are different. And what's a really curious thing, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out over the next 6 months or so, is the number of people who are going to refuse vaccines. And you might have the impression Japan, it's one of those societies where people do what they're told and blah, 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 blah. And of course, the vaccine take-up will be 100%. That's not the case. There's a bit of history here in that some of the vaccines that came out, one of them was for cervical cancer or something. I don't know the deep part of the story. There turned out to be a problem with it, and a number of people had some side effects, and those got hugely blown out of proportion in the media. And there is, it's not an anti-vaxxer movement in Japan per se, but the number of people who will say, no, not for me, thanks, is actually quite high here in Japan. Yeah, the HPV vaccine. So Japan has a history, not a bad history with that vaccine, but a bad history with media stories about that vaccine. So there is a percentage here that is higher than we would want, a percentage of people here who are not going to want to take this new vaccine. And at the moment, it's no big deal because the vaccine isn't readily available here yet, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Dave here, I can't wait to get the postcard. I mean, as soon as that postcard comes in my door, I am going to be online and book my space and let's go. And I don't even care which one. There's the X company, Y company, whatever. Get that thing in my arm. But it's not going to be totally smooth sailing. At the moment, it's a moot point because we don't have it here yet. I'm in the second group. The first group is, quote unquote medical people. I don't know to what extent. And the second group is everybody over 65, which includes me. And it's 35 million people. So how long it's going to take to do 35 million people? Oh, it's funny, there was a picture in the newspaper. This is a few days ago. The vaccines finally were approved, finally came in. The medical people get it the first. And there's a picture of the first guy to get it. And he's the bookkeeping manager of some hospital, a guy in a suit and tie, working in the back room of a hospital, getting his vaccine because he's medical. Just give me a break. So it's not just Japan, the influenza thing, I guess. So I'm reading about this about other countries as well. Yeah, the LASIK thing is the same. I don't know the details of the story. There was a big media story about somebody who got eye surgery and it didn't work. And as a result now, that whole procedure is really, really struggling to take off here in Japan. Media, media. We need news. We need to know what's going on. But how do you get proportion? How do you keep things in proportion? Yeah, the thing about this, some Stanford, they did their admins first, and it's a scandal. Here in Japan, it's, well, of course, what do you expect? Just whatever. Oh, how gozaimasu. Good morning, Ishikawa-san. Soka, too. The chat the other day, I was on the telephone the other day for a bunch of time. It wasn't Ishikawa-san. Everybody thought it was Ishikawa-san. It was Ishigami-san, the lady, one of the ladies in our packing center over in Ome. And she kept poking me with a question, and I'm like, I wanted to stop her, but whatever. It wasn't Ishikawa-san. It was Ishigami-san on the phone the other day. These whiskers. coming along. Just a couple more whiskers here. Never thought of that. Ishigami-san. Maybe her first name should be Hasami. Ishigami Hasami. I never thought of that. I gotta be careful. You can't joke with people's names here, so I might tell her this and I might not tell her this. I don't know. Who is this that mentioned that? I've already lost it. It's gone. Treadmill too. Right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, that's where anybody gets a laugh like that gets a chocolate egg. We've got some must be chocolate eggs building up here. I haven't been passing them out well. I'm sorry. Hasami isn't the name, not that I know of. Hasami simply means scissors. I don't know if Hasami has a kanji. I don't know this because it's a loan word, so I don't know. If it's got a kanji, you could use the pronunciation for the kanji. Same with Ishigami-san. Ishi is stone, but it's also seki. The name for the stone in Japanese is seki. Kami, paper, is shi. So the name could also be pronounced seki-shi. You wouldn't say that, but looking at the two characters, stone, and her name isn't the character for paper anyway. Ishigami ne. The character for Gami in her name isn't paper. It's kami, as in God. So her name is Stone and Kami-sama. So it's not really stone paper. It's stone God. But whatever. It's a good joke anyway. So. Well, the kami in her name is kami, and up, the character for up and down, the character for up, pronounced jo, ue, also pronounced kami, the same character. And it's God in a very generic, general sense. The name is in Japanese. That's the name, Ishigami. It's a common Japanese name. So. We have a little bit of an interruption here, I think. Let's see. Okay, that corner of the whiskers are done. Got to get this finished. But before I can do that, a small interruption here. Got to make a small visit short visit to one of the other rooms in the house. Back in a second. Give me 2-3 minutes. Shoot, 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 shoot. Thank you. Sorry for that interruption. I should have put the street view up. Sorry about that. Yeah. I should have put the street view up. How's our floater doing? Let's have a look. We have a nice floater today. Look at this. Cards and letters. Soka, soka, soka. Okay, it's a temporary pause here. Temporary pause. Is the blue bike still there? I don't know. It's in the other direction, so I don't remember. I'm sorry. I would doubt it. Absolutely, I would doubt it. Okay, first card and letter. It's from Cal Carlisle in Arizona. And I would almost certainly guess this is going to be a woodblock print. Cal is making prints. And I'm not sure the update, what he's doing. He and Jed had a project going. So Cal Carlisle, I guess he would have spoken up. Are you here, Cal? I doubt it. I don't know. Cal's doing nice work, John says. Okay, I'm not up to date with it. I'm sorry. We are about to find out. I know Cal, I believe, has been doing a project for Jed. We need to zoom out here, don't we? Oops, wrong way. Facebook, Soka. I don't do much on Facebook, I'm sorry. I certainly don't browse Facebook, so I guess we've probably got a print from Cal here, I hope. There's a letter, and then there is going to be a print. Oh, it's a New Year card. Soka, Soka. Okay, well, a letter is a letter, I guess. That's not really for the internet, I think. But the card is the card. Look at this, and it's nicely, cleanly carved. Very nice. This is tough to do, you know. He will have discovered this. The old Senshafda prints had a pattern like this. They had lettering with a white outline around it. It was commonly done in black. It was a black lettering with colored, and the outline is carved, you know, like in Photoshop you put a stroke on a character, and maybe Cal used Photoshop to set this up. He'd get his characters and put stroke on it. And in the old prints it was done this way, and this is really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do nicely. Look at this. I'm looking at the view instead of the print. Very nicely done. I am full of admiration here. Clean, nice carving. I don't know what kind of paper that is. That's okay. Very nice. It's calendared too, I think. Maybe he put the paper on a board and flattened it first before printing. I don't know. Thank you, Cal. I'll write to you privately as well, of course. But I'm mostly impressed with this, how tight that stroke is. Very nice. That is extremely difficult to do. The ox line on the back is a bit broken. Is it broken or is it brush strokes? I'm not really quite sure if this is, it looks kind of mechanical. But if it was a brush stroke, you'd have a brush stroke here and another brush stroke there, and you'd have these joints where the strokes come. Or maybe it's a break, I don't know. No idea. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Numbering. The other one may not be a print, it may be a letter. So let me crack it first and just have a peek here. And if it is a print to show, we'll show the print. If it's just a letter, we'll just leave it. It's a print. Different kind of print. This looks like, is it lino, maybe? This might be lino. It's perhaps somebody's first attempt, maybe. Let's have a look at this. So, yes, it's a lino cut. So, after watching your videos, I've been making them as a hobby and enjoying it immensely. Okay, I found that. Somebody called Forrest. Somebody called Forrest in Little Rock, Arkansas. Thank you very much, sir. I mean, this isn't woodblock prints like we do, but I'm just happy to see somebody diving in and giving this a try. Try some wood next time. Let's go on step by step. Thank you very much. Printing with his hands. He has no baron, so he printed this with his hands. Okay, nice fan letter. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Cards and letters, cards and letters. I myself would never have had the nerve to show somebody my very first print, but this is cool. Thank you. There's no sarcasm intended here at all. The fact that somebody has tried this and is making this, and the first attempt is interesting, and to share it and to look forward, well, thank you. I wouldn't have had the nerve to do that, but they're very nice. Okay, let's finish off this nose. We're okay, 9:06, time for show and tell, it's okay. Don't show Dave numbers. You know what I think about the numbers, whatever. I know Cal does whatever he wants. He has nothing to do with me. Cal Carlisle is not beholden to me, and he'll do what he wants, of course. But myself, I think the concept of limiting the editions is we don't want. I don't want to start the whole thing. It just doesn't matter. Dave doesn't do limited editions and doesn't think they are. They're morally reprehensible. That's a New Year's card from Cal, so it's not something for sale. Where I have trouble with the limited editions are the salesmen, and they do this here in the print shop near Akihabara. there's sales pitches because it's limited, it will be worth more in the future. And that's where I get off the boat. Cal is not telling me this story here at all, it's okay. But that's why I have trouble with limited editions. I don't want any promises to our customers or fans or collectors or whatever, friends, whatever word you want to use for them. I want no promise, either explicit or implicit. I want to make no promise that this thing is worth money and will be worth more money soon. I despise that, and I won't have anything to do with it. Do you like this piece of paper with the color rubbed all over it? Great, exchange it for money with us if you like, because we have to eat and we'd like to make more of these. That's the way I want to run our business. And that's the way I want to make these prints myself. So that's the background to my antithesis, my antipathy. Come on, getting old here. My antipathy to numbering. It's an assumption that this thing is worth money. That's all. I'm not grumbling here. I'm just simply telling you my viewpoint. That's all. Yeah, speaking of money and images and stuff, that reminds me, there's something really, do you know about this? What's the word? I know, what do they call it? NFT. Has this come across your news feed yet? I learned about this a few days ago. I saw this, and what, blockchain, images, music, prints, NFTs, and I read about it, and I thought, oh my God, the world has really, really gone insane. Really, the world has gone insane. NFT. And I thought, first when I read it, has this got any applicability to us? Should we be on board here? Dave, I'm hip. I can figure this out. I can work out a program that will do this. We can make some of these things. We can put them out to our... And I'll say, just wait a minute. I mean, if I don't like limited edition woodblock prints, the idea of making an NFT... Anyway, we're not going to do this, of course. We are not going to do this. But whatever, I know, when I read about it some more, learned about it a bit more, and read about it a bit more, I thought, really, the world has gone insane. Just, there's nothing else to say. The world has gone insane. Or what is more real, the world is simply going in places now that Dave just doesn't choose to go. Like, I am not going there. That's okay. You guys go ahead. You young uns go ahead, but I am not going there, you know. I know, rare baseball cards, I sort of get it, because it was something that was created organically and has become rare through the normal workings of society. They didn't become rare for the purpose of becoming rare. You know, the old baseball card from 1910 or something that's worth $1 million. I get it. And I understand that. I wouldn't pay $1 million for it, but I completely understand how it works, and it makes sense. Something created organically that becomes rare. That's fine. That's the Mona Lisa, whatever. But to create the thing to be rare from the moment it's created, that's the part that I myself don't get. So. Oh, what's going on? Is there a raid here this morning? Okay, hi, good morning. Thanks for visiting, but try to, whatever. Thanks for the visit. Okay, I'm on a deadline here. I've got to finish this corner before show and tell time. Give me a second here. Oy, lots of visitors here, are they? Hi, thank you. Okay, I think this has worked out very well this morning, just at the right time. We started at 8 o'clock and we have now finished this dog's nose. Dog, if it is indeed a dog, whatever it is. So from the next stream, what we're going to do is we're going to continue. As I said, I'm not going to go to the puppies yet. I think what I'll do from the next time is we'll clear out some of these areas that need to be cleared out, make a bit of noise. Then I think I'll switch up here and do the calligraphy. And then when that's done, I'll come back and work on the pups here. We'll see. Not quite sure. Might do the claw first. We'll see. Anyway, thank you. So that's good. We actually got some work done here today. In the middle of all the blah, 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 we actually got some work done. Okay. Show and tell. Show and tell, show and tell, show and tell. As I said, today's a bit of a different show and tell. I got a phone call from one of my staff members. I know this was, it's 2-3 weeks ago, whatever. She had found a box of stuff. They were needing some more workspace. I know you've seen the sales figures the last little while. They needed some more workspace to stack some stuff up and do some spreading out stuff. And they had come across. They were trying to clean up part of my old workbench back there, the workbench I used before we moved to Asakusa here. And she found a sort of a package of stuff. It wasn't neatly boxed up. And she saw some prints. And she thought, these are prints. They should be in the inventory. Should we take them out and put them in inventory? And I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? What is this? So just send this to me. So she sent me this package. And it's a package that sort of hasn't been touched for, I don't know, whatever, 6, 7, 8 years or something. And it turned out that what she had found, and I didn't know this sort of really existed, she had found a stack of files that were the original test prints from the beginning of the Ukiyo-e Heroes series. And what we had done was, of course, Dave was doing this all by himself back in those days. Dave carved them, Dave prints them. And what I would do is after each set of blocks was finished, I got 4 sheets of paper ready. And I printed the Fox Moon print, did it testing with number 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that, too bright. With sheet number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I looked at this and put some more paper in and did 5, 6, 7, 8. I've just been telling you about Dave doesn't do What a perfect show and tell today. I'm gonna choke here. And we've got, and I numbered them so I could make my notes. Number 1, we need a darker black. Number 2, let's take the color mist and the color from that. So we've got a folder here. I don't know where the other ones are. We have 1, 3, 5, and 8. And what would have happened actually? These must be the 4 that were really the worst ones. And I would take the number 2 and number 4, whatever, the ones that aren't here. And then when I came back to send the prints out to the printers here, send them out to the printers. I know that we would use that one. You'll go to the batch printer here. Use the color we see on this pants from number 2. Use the color here from number 4 and stuff like that. So I don't know where those are. There's a bunches of boxes of junk and stuff back in Ome. I don't know where these are, but they must be up there somewhere. So once I realized what these are, this is cool. This is really, really interesting for me. And it's coming up actually just at the right time, because we have this thing here now, our Mokuhankan collection. And for me, the Mokuhankan collection we've got is the old prints we're collecting and stuff like that. But I think actually that would be a good home for stuff like this. Rather than trash this, this will be the real number 1. Because when we get the pigment on top of the block, before we waste, quote, waste, unquote, a sheet of washi, slap a piece of paper on and just test it anyway with another piece of paper. So that'll probably be what that is. Anyway, whatever, long story short, this I'm really happy that these have turned up, because this, to me, this is historical interest stuff, you know. These are going to go in the file as being the first test prints. And there's going to be changes too, because I can see already here, these things have a double layer of whiskers, which isn't in the finished print. Yeah, look at that. We can see that this is actually going to be interesting if we look at these carefully side by side. The number 1 here, the one that's got the number 1, has 2 layers of whiskers. There's a light gray set of whiskers under here and a darker whisker here. And I do 1, 2, 3, 4, then I do 5, 6, 7, 8. And when we look at number 5, those light gray whiskers are gone. So I've looked at this. I don't remember this, but there's the evidence. I've looked at this and thought, now we don't need this. There's too many lines here. It's too much interfering. Chop off those. So I must have gone to the block and cut off those whiskers, just leaving them. And on decisions like this is nothing to do with Jed. This is us simply making the ones. And somebody's asking about rickshaw carts. So I don't know. They're not in this batch. This is Fox Moon, the second print we did. The next one here is the Hero Rests. This is the 3rd print in the series. And we've got them here. And it's number 1, 2, oh, we might have the whole group. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first 4 in the group. Then I do the same thing. 5, 8. No, it's just 5 and 8. So 6 and 7 are not there. So 6 and 7, again, must have gone to the printer, the first printer, and maybe I got them back, maybe I didn't get them back. I don't know. So jokes about limited edition numbering all aside, these for me are really, really, really interesting to see. And there will probably be lots of those little things, carving differences between from the first 4 and then from the second 4. There's stuff like this too, this registration. I remember this one. I really, really struggled. This one, I had carved it actually not quite carefully. I had twisted the sheet on the block, the hanshita, and the red block didn't register. So from the second group, the red block had to be printed twice. It had to be printed once for this side and once for this side to get those to line up. Because Dave was careless before he's doing the peel. He put too much glue on, and when he was rubbing it, the paper slipped, and that red one twisted. So even Dave at this level, and this is about 7 or 8 years ago, this is 2013, no, 2012 or 2013, 7 years ago, I was still screwing up. This is Link, so they tell me. I mean, I've never played the game myself, but this is Link. So this was hugely interesting for me to see these, you know. So I was really, and I've got to get back to, have you got any more? Because I need the one from the first one. The Mario Kart, that's the one I want. The very first number 1 copy of, wow, limited editions. Doesn't matter. I know the question of value is irrelevant because these are never ever going to be sold. Of course, these are just things for our own historical reference. The prints themselves are all still on the market out there. But we will never sell these particular sheets of paper ever, of course, never. What have we got here? This is the, we have 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. First test prints, nay, first test prints. Anyway, when this arrived the other day, and I thought about these and thought about this, and I thought, there's something else that perhaps what we should do here. And over the years, it wasn't, I never thought about it, but my own printmaking, when I did the Poet series or the Surimono albums, of course, I did test prints, and all those test prints are still over in files over in my house, over in Ome. And I had really never thought about it, but one point, whatever, just you have a bonfire and you throw them away and stuff like that, and away they go. But now that we have our collection here with filing cabinets and stuff like that, it really might make sense to just keep these, to file these, Here we are. These are the first copies. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. The very first 4 copies that came up of the Final Fantasy prints. And I don't have a finished one here to compare. There's lots of differences here. This was recarved. Absolutely, this was recarved. And we struggled with this. This we really struggled with. Both Jed and I, we struggled with this. The idea of a gray block for shadows. And what we had done here, we had to change it for the finished version, which I don't have in front of me here. What we had done here, look at this. Jed had put a red under kimono, a red color for her kimono, red base tone. And then because the light is coming from one direction, he had called for a gray block to go on top of it to make shadows. And then of course the same thing on her face. Her face is lit from this side and a gray block for shadows. But this doesn't work because the density of gray that you need to darken up a brown to make a shadow is way more than the density you need to change white to a shadow. And this just didn't work. It works, but look at her face. Her face doesn't look like it's in shadow. Her face just looks ridiculously dirty. So what I must have done before I went ahead to do the next group is I split that. Instead of one shadow block, I would have carved the gray part off this area and carved it onto a separate block. And all the way through the Heroes, we've been doing this all the way up. We do a test print, that works, that doesn't work, carve a new block, and move forward from there. In fact, we're doing the same thing right now. The third print in the Cat series is the same thing. We've carved 6, 7 blocks. She's still carving them now. When they're back here next week, we'll do some test printing, and we may have to toss one of those and carve a couple more. We won't know until we actually see the finished stuff. Because what happens in Photoshop, this probably looked fine in Photoshop when Jed did it. The same visual effect, it's different when you actually physically put it onto sheets of paper. The Photoshop thing can get us close, but it doesn't work. And all last year during the Ghibli series, the Pilgrimage series, we have experience now. So Jed would do it in Photoshop, and myself and Chon-san doing the color separation, we would look at this. That's not going to work. Look, let's take this and split this into 2 blocks already. So it's really, really interesting for me to see these. This is the time when we are still struggling with this, when we are learning how to do this. This is really super interesting for me to see these. I'm so glad they didn't get thrown away. But it's also, when you think about it, the other part of this is the first test print. So this is how good we are at this already, in that we're not sort of stumbling forward and eventually finding it. The very first test print, I could have sold that. It looks like a good, nice, interesting woodblock print. And it took a lot of years to get to that point. This is 2013 or 2014, so you're looking at 25 plus years of experience here to be able to pull this off. Cut a set of blocks, and right away with the first print, make something that is in the ballpark. Make something in the ballpark. So So this was cool. I'm going to have to get out to Ome, and we've got some trouble with the sewage system. They're rebuilding the sewer underneath our house, and I've got to get out there next week to see about that. So when I'm out there, I'm going to ask her, where did you find these, and show me, and are there some more? Because the one I would really like to find, of course, is the very first one, the rickshaw cart. I'd buy that. I'd buy that. You can see the differences, trying lighter colors, darker colors. So anyway, a little bit of a funnier show and tell today. It's not the normal show and tell. Look at this cool old print made from the Meiji time. Today's show and tell is something a little bit different. This is actually mostly for me, not for you, I'm sorry. Just to see my own history here, to look at these things. And for us, there are so many stories. All of these sheets of paper have so many stories. So I thought it would be fun to show you this. We're going to go. We're going to be back here on Monday. Today's Saturday. I'll be here Monday morning. And the next show and tell on Monday morning, I got to tell you, it's going. I can't tell you this. It's going to blow your socks off. And I mean, it's going to blow your socks off. And that's a tease. That's a guaranteed tease. The next show and tell on Monday morning is going to blow your socks off. Too much fun. Too much fun. Okay. Yeah, I got a bit of work done today. Not a whole lot, but I got a bit of work done today. And I think there was lots of good conversation, so I will enjoy very much looking through the conversation at lunchtime. When I have my, I have from the Salvatore, I have a BLT giant sandwich for my lunch today. Already bought. Okay. It's been a funny one today. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll be back here 2 days from now on Monday with more carving. And then a guaranteed, satisfaction guaranteed show and tell. Before we go, let me pop up the outside view. Oh, our floater is not floating so well. The sunshine takes care of that. It's sort of trying to lift off here. Whatever. Okay, guys. Thanks for the laughs. Thanks very much. I'll see you in a couple of days on Monday morning. Thank you very much. Thanks much, and bye for now. Signing off here.